A saying in the military goes, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Let's talk about that. Here's your armed citizen meme of the week. Screen cap it, crop it, and send it to everyone you know.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Now, let's get on with the content. When we talk about a cortex in our brain, that's a fancy word for the place where that particular stuff happens. The cerebral cortex is where our reasoning happens. Our motor cortex is where we control our involuntary muscles and so on. And each cortex is a lot like the graphics card on your computer. The graphics card is a computer in its own right. It just specializes in developing and drawing the graphics that we look at. You could say our motor cortex is where our muscle memory is stored. We don't actually have a muscle memory, if you use that term. What we do have is a program stored in the motor cortex, and that program is just a fixed sequential series of movements. And the critical aspect of the motor cortex is it has no speed setting. The motor cortex stores movements, not the time frame they are to be done. This means when we start learning a new skill or wish to relearn a skill, like training out your chicken wing when you draw, we go slow. And when I say slow, I mean painfully slow, as in 5 to 10 seconds for a single draw and trigger press. And what are we supposed to be doing during that seemingly infinite amount of time? Paying attention to your body. Feel that grip on your weapon, that we are posed correctly, how all that feels. And you take it by sections. Start with your hand on the weapon. Establish your grip. Make sure your elbow is pointed behind you, not to your side. Close your eyes and feel how this feels. Concentrate on your body, not the target. And you do that for every action of your draw. Here is a semi-complete list of the actions you need to take to go from beep to bang. First, defeat your garment if you're concealed. Place your hand on the weapon and establish your grip. Draw the weapon so you don't bang the muzzle on the holster, which could disrupt your grip and will definitely slow you down. When to start moving your support hand. If you start moving this too early, you will have to stop and start that hand as it waits for the primary hand to get to the meeting spot. I train myself not to move my support hand until I have cleared the holster with the weapon in my primary hand. Now, where do you put your hands together and build your group? In front of the belly button, in front of the sternum, or maybe even higher? And then what path to take? Do you take the elevator up and the walkway out to your extension? Or do you take the escalator and ascend while moving forward? As you press out, make sure the weapon is aligned so you don't have to search for your front sight or red dot. When do you lock your wrist? So when you get the weapon up to your eye, you don't have to continue to waste time moving the weapon to catch your front sight or red dot and basically end up over aiming. At this point, you are ready to press your trigger. How is your entire body? Standing up straight, including your head, knees unlocked, nose over toes. Is your dominant foot a half step back to absorb recoil? Arms extended 90%. Elbows canted slightly out, which locks them so the recoil doesn't leak out at the elbow. Grip firm, wrists locked, but arms and shoulders relaxed. Again, just stand there, paused at the moment before you press the trigger. Make sure everything is perfectly aligned. Let your body remember this. Think of it as establishing a save point. We do this until we are smooth. Remember, slow is smooth. Now, once we have achieved smooth, now we can start working on speed. Just not all at once. Work for a 5-second perfectly smooth draw and press. Perform that act as many times as you have to get sure that everything is correct. Do a session every day for a week. And when you do the skill, take up the entirety of the duration. Don't race ahead and then slow down and complete the last step slowly. Move at the same speed. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the content so far. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, please let me know by hitting that like button. When you do that, it helps get this content to others and inspires me to keep producing content. While we're clicking on things, hit that subscribe button to help grow this channel and turn on notifications so you know when one of my new videos shows up. I appreciate all comments, so please tell me if you think I'm spot on or way off. If you really like this video, hit share and post it on your social media. Okay, back to me. After that week, you can start introducing speed. If you stop being smooth when you start increasing speed, stop. That's the end of the session for the day. To force it at this point will mean that you're going to actually add bad habits to your save point. The next day, go back and work at a slower speed. Concentrate on smooth. If you do it right, introduce some speed again. During a session, do several draw and presses at 5 seconds. Make sure everything feels right. Then do it at 4 seconds, then 3 seconds. Once you hit 2 seconds, you're starting to go fast. However, because you've trained to move slow and smooth, those 2 seconds don't really feel any different than the 5-second draw and press. Yet, you're doing it twice as fast. To keep pace, count out the seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or whatever speed you're moving. This method works for every skill we practice in our mixed martial art. We can apply the same methods to reloading, to transitions, every skill out there. I am currently doing this method for specifically transitions. I have 2 3x5 cards about 3 feet apart in my dry fire range. I aim at one, eyes and sights on target. I press the trigger, then move only my eyes over to the other target. Then I move my weapon with a smooth movement, then a smooth trigger press once I'm on target so I don't deviate the sights. I'm taking about 5 seconds to do that initially. Then I look back at the first target, Move the weapon, press the trigger, another 5 seconds. Do that back and forth 6 times for a total of 30 seconds. You're going to feel, wow, that was exhausting. Remember to never sacrifice smooth for speed. Going fast without being smooth means we will probably fumble with the action, which can mess up the entire operation. We move slow until we're smooth, until we have trained our motor cortex to do the correct actions in the proper order smoothly without regard for speed. Once we can do smooth, we gradually accelerate, making sure along the way we never sacrifice smooth for fast. It's not an easy path. However, it is satisfying, and the pride you feel when you achieve that smooth and fast is definitely worth it. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day. If you made it this far, thank you. If you liked this content, please hit the like button to show your support. Help me get the word out by subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to turn notifications on so you know when I post new content. If you think this content would help your friends, the share button helps you get it out to your social media. Comments mean a lot to me, good or bad. Please leave one. All right, go forth and have a most excellent day.